Gonna be my first YouTube video. I'm trying to do this by myself. It's hard to, actually build something and record, and then, I still got to edit and do all of that. So it's gonna be a first time for everything. But as we try to build vehicles, we try to find the best information on YouTube, and sometimes it's a hit or miss. You gotta look through all different videos. So I'm gonna try to put it all in one. And just get it going. So it was fun. I'm gonna do some more content with some other differentials I built. If anyone knows, I got the single cab. I'm gonna be doing the Cadillac interior swap on that one. But so I try to get to the point. All this is mambling and jambling. So I try to get to the point because I know people like me work on these vehicles, take it out to swing it, do all crazy stuff. And we're just gonna get it in, man. So Ponson is done. LS3 6-speed, fully built rear end, old unit, got brand new axles, brand new diff, man. These are things that you're not gonna be finding, or these are not the things they teach in college. So we're gonna get it on YouTube and get it right, man. So appreciate everyone. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment if you did subscribe. What more information? If you got any other tips and tricks on how to do these, let me know. And we're just gonna keep posting and keep learning from everyone else and learn together. So with that being said, man, we out. We'll have this cross bar here that goes right here. This is gonna be the first piece that you will have to take out. 4 bolts that hold it in. It's a 15 millimeter. That'll take these off. These 3 bolts are for the drive shaft that goes to the back of the pinion yoke. These, I believe, are 18 millimeters. These 3 bolts are that hold the diff in place. These are also 18 millimeters. And to get all the components off, all those are also 18 millimeters. To take the axle out will be a 32 millimeter, so that'll get popped off. This bolt that's back here that holds the diff in right here. Sometimes you will have to whack it right here just to get that bolt out. Makes it easier, get more room to free this bolt because it is long. Once you get those out, these are kind of like the bolts you have to use, or these are the bolts that will be on there. So as we go underneath the car, you have these style clamps that hook up the pipe to the existing. It's a 15 millimeter. You loosen these 2 up and you loosen the other 2 up on the other side. And then if you guys have one of those rubber tools to get these hanging mounts off, you have to disconnect them hanging mounts from here and the ones from up here, and then it should come out. Man, this thing had a lot of spiders. As you can see, I took it off from here on this side, disconnected those 2, and then I have a tranny jack over there being used. Put the tranny jack right underneath there. If you're, I'm just doing it with one person. Put it underneath there and drop it all down and get it out of the way. That'll be step 1 to getting the exhaust off. No need to remove the heat shield, but that bolt is what I'm talking about. That goes right here. That holds the drive shaft in place, or the differential in place. Smack it right here so you have enough room to get this out. Then usually the axles do pop out pretty simple, but the other one was broken, so I had to pull the axle out. But I'm gonna pull this one out just to get this, get him both new ones. Pretty simple to get the drive shaft out once you have the exhaust off. I leave the drive shaft just hanging, and we got that one out. And then of course 2 18 millimeters that hold the caliper on. I just leave it right there, get it out the way. So I am going to be popping this one off, and I'm going to just show to reassemble it while I have the vehicle. All these, it's already taken apart, but you will have to disconnect the top upper control arm, which is an 18 millimeter. I think there's the I-link or Y-link. I think it's the I-link. This one's bolted onto here. Another 18 millimeter, I think ABS sensor. It's a 10 millimeter. You have to disconnect that one. This one you'll have to disconnect. A little bit tricky, so I bend this one in and then pry it down because the bolt sticks and kind of don't want to get out because it hits here. But if a little pry bar press it away, it'll get out. And then when I put it back in, I reverse it so I don't have that issue. The lower control arm, I don't take the bolts out, but I do loosen it just so I have more room to pull the axle out. In this case, I'm gonna be pulling the axle out. So 32 millimeter, You don't have to when you're removing the differential, but in this case we're gonna go with a new one. And you do have little T30 socket that holds the rotor into place. That goes on right there. So you will need a T30 socket to get this one out. Yeah, definitely one person by myself, I get this one started. As I am jacking it up, the rest try to get that piece into it. Now you can put the bolts, the 3 bolts that hold this on, and then you can get these 2 bolts that go on the back side of the diff. Once this is secured, then you can remove this out the way. So once I got these bolts on, then literally pretty much you can just do this with one hand. Now I believe you could just drop it, but I'm gonna try to just put the bolt in. This sucks, yeah. You can try to wiggle it. So that bolt go in there. Put the little nut on. I use a crescent wrench on this side, 18mm on the other side. This one's a little bit more tricky because, like I said, this is the one where you have to a little bit room, but if you have to hit it with a little hammer just to get it in, smack it in just enough to get it past on the other side. This bolt is tricky, but once you get that through the other side, you can bolt it up and you should be good to go. So put the axle in, got it started. Once this is flush with here, then that's when you know you're all the way. So I'm gonna try to smack it in, see if it'll go, and then hopefully it will. Get a little taps with the mallet. Show you guys what it should look like if it's fully seated. As you can see now, it is fully seated. So now you know that this one is done, and you can continue on. I'm gonna just do one side at a time. So I'll show you this side once it's all put in, and then it'll probably be just the same as the other side. So I'm gonna fish this through the hole and then get this one lined up. Probably gonna get a jack just to help me out, get all the components back on. I'm gonna try to get every component on, and then I will go over the torque specs, put under load, and tighten everything down. So got a pry bar locked in. The axle nut is torqued down to 200 foot-pounds of torque, is what I've seen on the internet. So that's what I'm gonna go with. The axle nuts are gonna be torqued down to 200 foot-pounds of torque. It's a lot, and then that should be good to go. So the axle is in, and we're gonna do the other side. I found on the internet, the forums, the drive shaft to the differential, 85 foot-pounds, differential 59 foot-pounds. The upper, the lower, they're all degree torque, so everything is torqued down to spec. I do mark these as well, so like that'll be like 1, 2, 3. On the other side, you know, be 4 and 5. So while I take these off, I do have these in order, so I know which bolt goes to which. This one is torqued down till you strip it. Just kidding, don't do that. So we have these 3 bolts, which are the same, torqued down to 59 foot-pounds. Drive shaft bolts to the pinion yoke, I believe it was 85 foot-pounds. So I got all these torqued down to spec. And this is what I mean. This bolt, I turned it around so you can fit it through this side without having that issue running in here. So I put the nut in here, and all these are torqued down to spec. This one's 103 foot-pounds, and this one is what, 30 foot-pounds and 120 degrees. These are what I found on the internet, so that is what I'm running with. And of course, the axle nut, 200 foot-pounds. So everything is torqued down to spec. That's pretty much it for the differential swap. Of course, once you got all this settled in, then you add the fluid in here. I believe it's 1 quart. So I'm going to do the other side, which I don't have to show, because once you do one side, you can pretty much do the other side. And then, of course, once you got both sides suspension done, you can put the exhaust back on, with the help of your transmission jack, and then get these 4 bolts put on. I do got these marked as well. I put A, B, C, D, so I know that these bolts go with these bolts. T30 for this bolt on the other side. And this video, so everything is put back. Mufflers, hangers are on. This hanger is on. These 2 hangers are on. What I did with the transmission jack, I pushed it in as much as I can just to get these through the holes. Did these ones first, brought it all the way here. Once the hangers are on, these can be moved, so I adjusted it from there. This is the last piece that you put on, which is the first piece that you take off, kind of like reverse order. So as it goes back here, these are 15 millimeter. These are just torqued down. This thing will cut over here. Same thing over here. These are 15 millimeters. PB blaster these when you're taking them off. So everything is done here. Best to put 4 jacks up so you could get it, because when it's slanted, it's really hard to get over here. So leave yourself some room. 2 jacks, 4 jack stands, each 4 corners, and then you're done. Now, I'm about to just put the fluid on. Get one of these from O'Reilly's or AutoZone with the thing. This one's to drain it. This one back here is gonna fill it. So, you know, this will be the last step to do. Just drain it until the fluid comes out, and then you should be good to go. So 390 Detroit 2-track, 1 LE housing, brand new axles. Everything is torqued down to spec. Go over everything when you're doing this just to make sure everything is there, nothing is moved, and this one will be good to go.